Hello and welcome to my channel On the Hook Crochet, where we talk about wearable crochet style and let's find out what's been on the hook. This week, lots of things are going on. I am doing lots of crafts this week, all different kinds, but today I wanted to talk about several things, and a few are, I've got a couple of Happy Mail things. I have an announcement about a pattern that I made a change to, or I updated it actually. And then I'll talk about what I'm wearing, 3 whips, and we're going to do a giveaway for the Paint by Number kit. When I promised 2 weeks ago we were going to pick a winner today, July 8th. So happy July 8th. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Now, let's get started. I wanted to draw your attention to a card that I received from Christy. She is the person who sent me the hank of the yarn that I was looking for. Remember the Audine wools, and I'm still working on that project, but I haven't made a lot of progress this week, but I've been working on some other things, so maybe next week I'll get really busy with that. But this is a card that Christy sent me, and I hope you can see that. Look at the beautiful painting. This is a painting that's in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Let me get it over here where you can see it. And I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, it's from the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and it's painted by a German man in 1848. But I just love the detail in this painting. The flowers are absolutely gorgeous, and it's a still life that's done with shadow and light in here. I just love really nice art. I love good art. And Christy, thank you for your card. She sent me this beautiful card along with the yarn. So thank you again, Christy, for that. Now, I had another thing sent to me, which I was very surprised about. Annalise sent me these. These are stitch markers. And she said that she saw my cardinal, see him right there? She saw the cardinal on the bag that Joe had made me for my Persian tiles blanket. Well, that's what I'm using it for anyway. And she wanted to send me some stitch markers. So she sent me these beautiful stitch markers. And on this one is the saying, a lot of people say it about cardinals. It says, when a cardinal appears, your loved one is near. And I think that's just really sweet. But thank you, Annalise. I appreciate those beautiful stitch markers. I will be using those. I'm running out of stitch markers. I think that most of them are in my Audine wools. I think most of them are here. I have some also in some other projects as well. I think one of them is the new cardie that I'm making from the Summertime Cardie pattern, and I think there are probably 30 stitch markers in there. Most, those are most of my stitch markers, and I haven't pulled them out yet. So I wanted to also make an announcement. I don't usually do this, but I've been asked to give a shout out to Gina Pike. Gina is the YouTuber who knits and crochets. She has a small channel right now, but she's growing her channel, and I am giving her a little bit of a shout out. I've seen several of her videos. They're very pleasant. Gina has some back trouble, and she also knits to accommodate her back trouble. So if you have that problem, you could maybe watch her and get some tips from her. She also gives away a lot of her shawls to charity, and I just admire that in someone so much. And so I was asked by a friend of hers to give her a shout out, so I'm doing that. Her link to the video channel is down below, and if you want to check her out, the link will be very easy to follow. Just click it and you'll be there. Now, Linda Simpson, who a lot of y'all may know, she is a crochet YouTuber, and she is having a worldwide giveaway, and it's so exciting. And I told her that I would tell my subscribers about it, so her link will be down in the description box as well. Now, I have a correction, or actually it's just an explanation, a little better explanation for something in the Summer Cottage Cardie pattern. So if you have already bought this, you might get a pencil and just write it in. If you haven't bought this yet, then when you do, the clarification will be actually in the pattern. I've uploaded it again with the clarification. It's on page 4, and if you'll look, it says repeat rows until fabric is about 5 to 7 inches wide. And let's see if I can find it on here. It's about the 3rd paragraph down, right around here. And what I meant to say was repeat rows 3 and 4, which is the double crochet row and then the triad row. And if you'll just repeat those all the way across, you'll be fine. I had explained it in 4-row section to begin with, talking about the chain up, you know, when you first chain. So I wasn't very clear, and I apologize for that. So I have made that change to this pattern, and if you already have the pattern, it's just that one little thing. So repeat rows 3 and 4 is the only thing that's different in that pattern. Now moving on to what I have on. I have on my Busy Bee top. Love this top. It is so comfortable. And the yarn that I made it from is Cotton Fair. This is the ball band of the new Cotton Fair. It's a little bit different font on there, but it's the same wonderful yarn. Here's some right here. This is what it looks like. This is a size 2 yarn. It is half poly, or half acrylic and half cotton. It's very, very wonderful. It's a very soft yarn, and I made this from the Yellow Flash colorway, but it's probably not available anymore. There's so many things that I make are not available anymore. I use discontinued yarn and don't mean to. I mean, I really don't stash it that long, but this I made almost 2 years ago, so it's been around for a while. I've worn it a lot, and it wears so wonderfully. It's so comfortable. It's just perfect. Now I'm going to stand up and show this to you. This is a little bit different pattern than what you're used to probably. It's not a plain Jane tee. This is made a little bit different. It has some vents on the side. The sleeves are a little bit longer than the elbow, and then I can turn them up in a cuff. And I'll try to remember to put the video where I explained this sweater at the end of this video. So look up in the corner at the very end of the video, and you'll see a link to that video if I can find it. I think I know where it is. So anyway, this is what it looks like. Very comfortable. I wear it all summer long. Really love it. And this is the pattern. It's called the Busy Bee top. Really enjoyed making this. I enjoyed doing the pattern because it was one of my very first patterns. And I also have been wearing it for a couple of years. Every summer. I love it. It's got a wide band around the neck. The neck is quite open, and it's very cool to wear. But then it covers up the upper part of the arm. So one of my favorite patterns that I've ever put out on Etsy. I really, really like it. And it's totally a summer top. And you could wear it under a jacket, I guess, if you wanted to, but right now I'm just wearing it by itself, and you don't have to wear a tank top under it or anything. Now if you made this in a solid color, you may have to, but this is a very busy yarn, so it kind of camouflages the look so you can wear it without a tank top underneath. Moving on to the WIP portion of my program. I do have several WIPs, as you know, more than I need, and I said last week I was making a top out of Beautiful You. This is the label, but you know, it's been, of course, discontinued as usual. I don't know why I'm in love with yarns that are discontinued. Maybe I have weird taste or something, but this is 326 yards. You can still get this on Etsy. I believe if you just Google it, it comes up somewhere, but the Etsy shop, if you go to etsy.com and just type in the search bar Beautiful You yarn, it will come up, and there's a person on there that has quite a good stock of it as of last week. I don't know what they are now, but this is a size 2 yarn. It's a very easy to crochet with. There's no halo on this. It is a totally summer yarn, I think. That's how I've always used it. And I've already made one top from it, which was a red top, and y'all have asked me about that several times, if I was going to put out a pattern for the Beautiful You sweater, and I never did do the pattern for that. I just used I think it was the Foxy Boxy, but I made so many changes to it that it might be smart for me to just put a pattern out there so you don't have any problems trying to make something from a size 2 yarn. And this is a size 2 yarn made with an H hook. And what I did was I frogged this whole thing out from last week, and I had done every other row was an X, an X stitch or a V stitch. I call it a V stitch. There it is right there. And it gives the sweater a little bit of interest, especially if you're using a solid color, which I am using Spanish Villa. Let me make sure that's right. Yes, Spanish Villa in pink, Beautiful You, very beautiful. But I've decided to use this as a design element right here. The V-stitch row will be one row at the bottom, and then I've added some other rows, and then I'm continuing on with a half double crochet. and that will go all the way to the neckline or up to the back, depending on if this is the back or the front. Probably will be the back. I usually make the back first because there's more crochet in it. The front is a little bit easier and less time consuming than the back. So I'm going to use that design element right there, and I'm going to put it at the bottom of the sleeve, and I'm going to make the sleeves long like the red beautiful U top, and I made them about elbow length, but I'm going to come up a little bit higher than that, put the design element in, and then finish it up. And so it'll probably be about the same length of sleeve that's in the beautiful U red sweater that I wear quite often. I will put the design element at the bottom of the front and the back and the sleeves, and I might incorporate it into the neckline. That might be really pretty. So we'll see what happens with that. But this is what I'm making from the beautiful U yarn in Spanish Villa color. Another WIP that I'm working on is the Caron Cotton Cake. Look at this. What a mess. This turned into a mess. I'm trying not to get it tangled because there's nothing worse than that, trying to crochet and untangle at the same time. Nobody wants to do that. I'm making this with an H hook. I'm also, I have 2 cakes of this. I'm sure it won't take me any more than that to do. Now, this is what I have finished so far. It is stripy. I have to admit, it's a little bit stripy. Wait a minute, this is the top. This is the top, and the bottom is a darker stripe, which is perfect for me. I really like that look. It gives the bottom of the sweater a little bit of an anchor, so I like that. And then I only have about 2 rows left to go, and I'll be finished with the back of this sweater. So this is what it looks like. It's going to look right about like that in the back, and I think it'll be fine. Oh, wait a minute, I've just got it up a little too high. It's about like that. And then I might put a band around the bottom. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. But it's the plain Jane tee. That's the pattern that I'm using. And I'm really doing it exactly like I did the very first one, which was the pink, I think it was called Cotton Angel Cake yarn. And it's the same size as the Caron Cotton Cake, made of course by the same company. And it crochets up just like it. Beautiful stitch definition. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Since I've run out of stitch markers, I am using these. And this is a little clip that I used the last time I had a sewing project. I discovered these. And they're little clips like that. You can use these for sewing because they have little teeth on them. They hold very, very well. So what I did was I put one of these, I counted the number of rows that I needed. I needed 46, and at the 40 mark I had to stop crocheting. So I put a little 40 on a piece of paper and I just clipped it to the end of the fabric so that I wouldn't have to keep counting those rows over and I bet I counted them 5 or 6 times to be sure I wasn't crocheting too many rows. And I thought, well, I'll just do that an easy way, and so I put a label on it with the little clip. Now, I am almost finished with the back, and then I will start on the front. I'm making this with a K-hook half double crochet, just like the plain Jane sweater. I'm making it exactly like the pink one that I made because I love it, and it's so easy to wear in the summertime. So I'm making that. I might even make the sleeves a little bit longer just to make it different and make it more wearable maybe into the fall. So that is my plan for that. But it's the plain Jane tee, pretty much just in a different color yarn. Now, the last WIP that I want to talk about is the red, white, and blue dotted line Liberty color. Let me get that up there where you can see it. It's a Liberty color way on the dotted line yarn. Again, this is discontinued, and I'm holding that with the Cotton Fair in a cream color, only because I couldn't get the white right away, so I just ordered the cream, and it's almost white. It's very, very close to white, so I'm doing that. And I think on my last video I had not shown very much of this, and I haven't worked on it that much. It's been sitting on my desk here, but I am working on it now. This is what it looks like. The first few feet or yards, I guess, of the dotted line were blue and white. So this is the bottom of the sweater right there, and it's blue and white. And now I'm working into the red. And the red is, It's very, very subtle. There's not a whole lot of color to this, but if you get it back, you can kind of see that it's going to be interesting to look at. It's not going to be a fiery red, white, and blue, but it's going to be a very subtle red, white, and blue. And it is so, so soft. Cotton Fair and Dotted Line together make the softest fabric. It is just so soft and smooth. I'm going to enjoy wearing this. And I'm using a K hook with this because I'm holding the two strands together, as you can see. I'm holding the two strands together. It really makes a substantial fabric. It's pretty substantial there, almost like using a worsted. So I'm using a K hook on that so that I don't get it too tight and make it too hot to wear in the summer, because it's really going to be kind of a summer top. But it's going to be a patriotic top, so I can wear it on Veterans Day, Flag Day, July 4th, you know, all those days that we kind of celebrate. I celebrate by wearing certain colors and maybe putting my little flag on my desk and doing some things like that, maybe having something special to eat. So, and I like to wear a top with the red, white, and blue colors. So that's why I'm making that particular top with Dotted Line and Cotton Fair. Now this section of my program, I'm going to be answering some questions. I get a lot of questions in my comments, and I want to address those questions for others who may have had the same question, but maybe they didn't write it down. Robin asks, what is halo? Halo is a fuzz on a yarn. I mean, if you hold the yarn up and you don't see anything fuzzy right here, then it has no halo. But if you hold up a yarn, maybe sometimes wool yarns have a halo. I don't like halo too much, so I don't use yarns with a lot of halo. Once in a while, I'll get a very beefy yarn like a size 5 or 6, maybe from Knit Crate or something, and they usually have a halo. But in a big yarn like that, that's just making a cowl or a hat or something like that, it's not a big deal. But when you make a sweater with a halo, sometimes it's hard to frog it out if you need to. Sometimes it's hot, and in summer I never make summer tops with halo. Cotton Fair has no halo at all on it. You can hold it up to the light and you can't see little hairs sticking up. That's what halo is. So Robin, that's the answer to your question. Another Robin with 2 B's asks, did I finish the girl with a pearl earring? Yes, I did. And she is framed and on my wall. And here's a picture of one of these sides. I'll have a picture of her hanging on the wall. I'll show that to you. I'm also planning to do a video about, they call those in the diamond painting world a post reveal. And that is when you completely finish something and you want to talk about your experience in doing the diamond painting and what it was like to diamond paint this particular piece. So I'll probably do that and also talk about some storage that I used for it as well. Someone named VM Carlson asks me, when you are crocheting vertically, do I have any patterns like that? Well, I do have 3 patterns. The Summer Cottage Cardi is made vertically. The Side-to-Side Sweater is made vertically, and those are, the Side-to-Side Sweater is a kind of a summer sweater, but I made a black and gray sweater for winter, and I wear a black turtleneck under it. So the Side-to-Side Sweater is also another pattern that I've made that is a vertical stripe pattern, and also the Cardi Vest is a vertical stripe pattern. So there are 3 patterns that I've made in the vertical style. Charlene at Crochet Corner, or Charlene's Crochet Corner, asked me where I buy my Malabrigo yarn. And I buy my Malabrigo yarn at eatsleepknit.com. They always have a great selection. Most of the time everything's in stock. I haven't had any problems getting the one I really, really wanted. So, and their prices are very, very good. And some of the hanks are $12. I mean, it's just not that much compared to maybe $6 for a hank of yarn that isn't as beautiful as the Malabrigo. I have to say it is quite gorgeous. It's kettle dyed. It is not, each hanks is not hand dyed necessarily, but they're kettle dyed, and that means that they do large groups of yarn at a time. That's the way I understand it. And I do love the look. So I've made lots of things from Malabrigo, and thank you for asking that question, because I do like to tell people where to find it. It's a nice yarn. It's a step up from a big box yarn, and you'll notice when you crochet with it, you will just love it. So not sponsored. Not sponsored at all. Susan asks, why don't I do Tunisian crochet? Where is my Tunisian crochet? And I gave away all my Tunisian crochet hooks to a local church a couple of years ago because I had tried it, but it just wasn't something I enjoyed too much. I did try it. It was before I started my YouTube channel. And I had 2 sets of hooks. I had every accessory known to man for Tunisian crochet, but I gave it all away, and I'm not really motivated to buy any more right now. I didn't like it as much as I should to invest more money in crochet hooks, so I didn't want to buy any more. Rachel asks, why am I not on Ravelry? Because I dropped out of Ravelry. I didn't like the way they were running their business, and so I decided to do something different. And I dropped out, and I just have an Etsy shop, and that's what I use to sell my patterns, and that's how I do it. So I'm not on Ravelry. Used to be, but not anymore. Now, here's another set of questions from Chris, K-R-I-S-S. Chris, you know who you are. And she said in one of my videos she saw some people walking around behind me. Well, those were guys who were mowing the yard, and they were mowing my yard, and sometimes they'll blow off the deck, which is right outside my studio window, so that's what they were doing there. On my linen tee, I was saying I was going to need 3 hanks to finish your top. No, I only needed 1. I need 1 hank, and I actually have that from a subscriber named Christy, so I'm good to go for that. And if on the diamond painting question, if I wanted to buy good Aurora Borealis drills, those are special, very sparkly drills or diamonds that you put on a diamond painting, do I suggest a certain place to purchase one? I purchased mine from Diamond Dots. That's diamond, and then the second word is D-O-T-Z. It's spelled Diamond Dots. And the quality was excellent. I think there were 5 little bottles in a package, and they were just basic colors. They have different packages. I think they have a fluorescent package, and then they have the package that I bought, and I think there's one other package as well, and you can choose from those. They're not expensive, and they really added a lot to my Girl with a Pearl Earring diamond painting. So be sure to look for that link. When I do the painting, you will see how I use the AB drills, they're called. So that's where I got those from. DiamondDots.com, I think, is the website. And there are some other websites that sell Diamond Dots drills as well. So you can just Google it and it'll come up. Are there certain colors you would recommend that will work with lots of paintings? You'll just have to decide that when you look at the different categories of colors. I just, like I said, I picked the basic blue, yellow, white, red, and pink, I believe, that were the colors in there. Are all the round drills the same size? I'm not an expert at diamond painting, so I don't know the answer to that. But the round drills appear to be all the same size. And I used the AB drills on Girl with a Pearl Earring, and they fit in there just fine. So I don't think that there's a huge discrepancy among round drills. I've heard people say that there are, but I think now the industry has really come together, and I think mostly they're all the same size. So if you're doing square drills, you might find it to be a little bit different. Well, those are all the questions that I had, and I want to thank you all for sending questions. Sometimes I will write them in the comments, and sometimes I'll just answer them on a video because it might be easier for me. Because I answer questions with a lot of verbiage, because I like to tell you everything that I know about the question that you're asking. So I will move along now, and what we're going to do is we're going to select a winner for the paint by number kit that I introduced 2 weeks ago, and this kit is the Floral Fantasy, and I'll put a picture of it here. Floral Fantasy by Civil Art. It's a paint by number, and it is even easier than the paint by number I'm doing with the 2 elephants, and there's another video somewhere that where I talk about that. I think it was in a crochet video actually, but anyway, I talked about the paint by number kit that I'm doing, and it's a lot of fun. I don't paint every day. I will probably paint once a week and put a couple of colors onto the painting. I'm not going to be in an extreme hurry about that, but I did promise that I would give away the paint by number kit today. So let's turn the camera to the computer and find out who wins the paint by number kit. Here we are at the computer, and I have placed the URL for the video 2 weeks ago where I talked about the paint by number kit to give away. The keyword was baby, and so let's go down here and find out how many people signed up for it. I doubt it's as many as I do on my crochet channel, so you might have a better chance. Look, yeah, 169 people placed a comment on that video with the actual keyword. So let's scroll down here and find out who wins the paint by number kit from Craft Ease, and thank them for sponsoring this giveaway. The winner is Gail Eppel. Gail Eppel. And there's her word baby in her comment. So Gail, you have won the paint by number kit from Craft Ease. Congratulations. So Gail, please send me your mailing address to my email address. It is Jeannie at On the Hook Crochet, and I've actually printed it down in the description box if you need spelling. So be sure to send me your mailing address and I'll get that off to you right away. Before I go, I'd like to show you the little bit of progress I've made on my King Cole Drifter sweater. Now, I don't know how much I had done on my last video. I can't truly remember, but this is how it looks now, and it's starting to kind of pool, so I'm in pretty good shape. I'm working on this one as well. So this is an active work in progress because I'm going to continue with this. It's a nice soft fabric, and I like the colors in it, and I'll be wearing this with a pair of jeans. And I'm making this by the Easy Tweety sweater pattern. So there it is right there. And anything that I mention usually on my videos, I place a link down in the description box. If you're not taking advantage of that, please do. And I don't mean just for my patterns, but I have a lot of links down in the description box every week. I just, sometimes there are 10 or 15 links for items that I've talked about, people that I've talked about, YouTube channels, yarn that I talk about, mostly never sponsored. I just like to put the links down there to make it easy for you to find. So be sure to check out the description box. Sometimes on your computer it'll say show more, and you just click that and all of that will come up. And on your phone, I think you have a little tiny half arrow in the upper right corner next to the title of the video, and you can click that, and that will open up the description box, and you can look in there and find all kinds of links and little paragraphs that I've written, all kinds of things in there. So be sure to check that out. Now, before you click away, please like this video. It helps me so much. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And also share this video with a crochet friend, or maybe a diamond painting friend or a hobbyist. And that way we can get the word out and I can increase my subscriber base. I would love to do that. And if you haven't signed up for the community, be sure to do that, because something may be coming fairly soon. So be sure to join the community. Down in the description box there's a link, and you click on that. It's free to join, and when you join you actually receive a free pattern from me right then. So be sure to do that if you haven't joined the community. If you're having trouble getting the emails, please look at your spam folder. I can go on my email server and find out if the actual email was sent to you, and in some cases it's been sent, but you didn't open it because I think it went to your spam folder or something. So be sure to check that before you write me and ask me about it, because honestly they rarely make a mistake. It's usually that the email goes to you and it disappears because it might be in your download file, and it might also be in your spam folder. So be sure to check that. Now, I'm going to leave that right there. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will be back on Monday, so join me then to find out what's on the hook.